Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where even our debates need drug tests, this is Ballot.
Today we talk about Trump's latest demand for Biden to take a drug test before their debates, and how Trump spent his day off. Let's hit this. Donald Trump demanded that Joe Biden be drug tested ahead of the two presidential debates both candidates have agreed to participate in. The former president cited the incumbent's State of the Union address in March in his call for drug testing, alleging that Biden was high as a kite when he delivered the speech. "I just want to debate this guy, but you know, and I'm going to demand a drug test too, by the way," Trump told Republicans during a speech at a GOP dinner in St. Paul. Of course he wants drug testing, after downing a case of Sudafed to get himself up for the debates. "I am. No, I really am. I don't want him coming in like the State of the Union. He was high as a kite," the presumptive GOP nominee added. Yes, Donald. Biden's notorious for hotboxing the Oval Office before major events. It's totally not projection from the Adderall aficionado himself. "We're going to demand a drug test," Trump reiterated, without saying whether he would take one himself. Because why would the reasonably lucid candidate ever need to prove he's clean as a whistle? Donald Trump also said Friday his campaign has accepted an invitation from Fox News for his yet-to-be-chosen running mate to debate Vice President Kamala Harris, and he urged her to accept as well. Yeah, because what better way to kick off a presidential campaign than having your VP pick debate before you even announce them? That's some real 4D chess right there. In fact, Harris has already said she'll debate, but on a rival network, which just goes to show she's clearly playing the smarter strategic game here by avoiding the cesspool of propaganda that is Fox News. Can't say I blame her. President Joe Biden's campaign signaled it would reject Trump's offer, an official pointing to the acceptable debate parameters it detailed earlier this week. Under those conditions, a Fox News-hosted debate would not qualify. So Biden is trying to have an actual substantive policy debate rather than a shout-fest on state TV? What a novel concept. Republican Trump's post on his social media network came after Democrat Harris accepted a different invitation from CBS News. Because, of course, the Democrats want to be on an actual news network rather than Trump's personal YouTube channel. The public brokering of debates is continuing after the two presumptive presidential nominees this week agreed to meet twice this summer, bypassing the commission that has hosted debates since 1988. Gotta love how they're just making up the rules as they go along now. Reminds me of that time I tried hosting a debate between my cat and the neighbor's dog. Jen Psaki is playing a bit of skeptic when it comes to those highly anticipated Biden versus Trump debates actually happening. The former White House press secretary turned MSNBC pundit expressed some serious doubts that the two agreed-upon showdowns in June and September will come to fruition. In her own delightfully candid words, she's still a skeptic, a little bit. Psaki's main concern? That the ever-mercurial and agreement-averse Donald Trump will inevitably object to the terms laid out by Biden's team, potentially causing this whole thing to unravel faster than a MAGA merch shipping operation. Trump could certainly say, "I never agreed to those terms in the letter." And he probably will, Psaki mused. That's how this all falls apart. She's got a point. If there's one thing we know about the former president, it's that he loves nothing more than to yank away the football at the last second. Committing to fair parameters and reasonable guidelines? Not exactly his strong suit. Of course, Psaki also provided some insight into why Biden's camp opted to be so brazen in setting the rules of engagement from the jump. Apparently, they felt forced to get out ahead of Trump's inevitable game playing and taunting before it devolved into a whole Sleepy Joe age-shaming narrative. An interesting gambit to be sure. Though Psaki did snarkily suggest Biden already undermined his own sharpness narrative by seeming a little weak and unable to unilaterally make all these things calm amid recent domestic protests and foreign policy firestorms. She even joked that the clearly animated, passionate Biden we saw at the State of the Union made it seem like he was on drugs. A brutal zing that also conveniently called back to the conservative obsession with Biden's mental acuity. In any case, Psaki praised Team Biden's tactics of proactively setting concrete rules like muted mics and no live audiences. Smart moves to try containing the inevitable tornado of chaos that would be Trump unbound on a debate stage. But at the end of the day, the former press sec doesn't seem confident the former president will submit to such restraints without a fight. setting the stage for yet another dragged-out bad faith squabble, seemingly designed to derail the proceedings through obstructive brinksmanship. Hey, at least we know Psaki will be waiting in the MSNBC wings to provide her trademark acerbic commentary when the whole thing inevitably devolves into a circus. She may be skeptical about the debates happening, but I'm fully confident her biting snark will be in mid-season form no matter what transpires. Biden on Sunday warned graduates at one of the country's most revered African-American academic institutions of extremist forces aligned against the meaning and message of Morehouse College in a commencement address that sought to lay out the stakes of the 2024 election. Because nothing fires up a college crowd like ominous warnings about nefarious forces. Graduates, this is what we're up against, Biden said during a 27-minute speech that leaned heavily into themes of faith and democracy in an appeal to black voters. Many Morehouse students and faculty criticized Biden's participation when it was announced because of his support for Israel's war in Gaza. About a mile away, pro-Palestinian protesters held a rally organized under the banner of Say No to Genocide Joe speaking at Morehouse. Speaking of graduations, Trump attended his son Barron's high school graduation on a day off from court. No, not Barron's day off from court, Donald's. Trump posted on his Truth Social knockoff, "Going to Barron's high school graduation. Great student, wonderful boy. Very exciting. DJT." Yes, because there's nothing more heartwarming than a dad bragging about his son's academic achievements while on trial for felony crimes. Solid priorities there, Don. The former president arrived sporting a black suit and a blue tie. No doubt carefully coordinated to match the colors of the private prep school that costs more per year than most Americans make. Just your average relatable billionaire dad experience. Trump and Melania occasionally clapped and waved at the direction of where the graduates were. Wow, what engaged parenting. I'm sure Barron will cherish those fleeting moments of acknowledgement forever. After the very quick and subdued celebration, it was right back on the grift for Trump with a fundraiser in Minnesota. Because what better way to commemorate your youngest son's milestone than to immediately jet off and keep begging rich people for money? You've got to hand it to the guy, though. Shamelessly using his kid's graduation to rile up his base and fundraise off the fake outrage that he might miss it. Genius-level exploitation of his own family there. Barron's a real lucky kid to have such a caring father always putting him first. Portions of today's podcast were created with the help of AI.